delivering packages around Bandungan last Friday. I spent the entire day delivering packages around the Bandungan area. The morning air was cool and fresh, with mist still lingering over the hills and fields. I started my route from the small warehouse near the town center. My motorcycle was fully loaded with boxes of various sizes, tightly strapped on the back. The first delivery was to a small flower shop near Candi Gedong Sanggo. The road was winding and slightly uphill, but the scenery was beautiful. On both sides of the road, I could see vegetable farms, greenhouses, and local vendors setting up their stalls. When I arrived, the shop owner, a friendly old lady, welcomed me with a warm smile and offered a glass of hot tea. I handed over the package, which contained imported seeds, and she looked very pleased. The next stop was at a homestay on the slope of Mount Ungaran. The narrow village roads were a bit tricky to navigate, but the peaceful surroundings made it enjoyable. I delivered a box of fresh coffee beans and local snacks ordered by a tourist staying there. The owner thanked me and chatted for a while about how online orders had helped support local products during the tourist off-season. I continued my journey through different parts of Bandungan, passing through bustling traditional markets, quiet rural lanes, and even forested shortcuts. One package was for a young man running a small online clothing store. He lived in a hilly area, and I had to walk the last few hundred meters because the road was too steep for my bike. He came out running when he saw me and was very happy too. Received the new stock of shirts he had ordered. Around noon, I stopped at a roadside stall and had lunch: warm rice, fried tofu, and spicy sambal. The vendor was curious about my job and told me stories about how the area had changed over the years. After resting for a bit, I got back on the road. In the afternoon, rain started to fall lightly. I wore my raincoat and continued with the deliveries. Despite the weather, I managed to complete the rest of the route on time. The last delivery was for a family who had ordered school supplies for their children. The kids were excited to receive new notebooks, crayons, and pencil cases. By the end of the day, I was tired but satisfied. Delivering packages in Bandungan wasn't just about logistics, it felt like a journey through a living community. Each stop gave me a chance to interact with kind people and experience the culture and beauty of the region. I went home with a grateful heart, ready to rest and do it all again the next day. If you'd like a version with dialogue or more dramatic elements, let me know. It was early morning when I started my journey to deliver packages around Bandungan, a highland town known for its cool air, vegetable farms, and stunning views. The sun was just rising behind the hills, and the air was still cold and crisp. I zipped up my jacket, checked the straps on the back of my motorcycle, and made sure all the packages were securely fastened. There were about 17 deliveries to make that day, spread out across various parts of the area, some to houses deep in the countryside, others to small shops near the market. My first stop was a guest house near Umbul Sidomukti, up the steep hills where fog still floated low between the trees. The road was narrow, and I had to ride slowly. The package was for a tourist from Jakarta who had ordered a local herbal drink as a gift for her parents. When I handed it over, she smiled warmly and said, "Thank you for coming all the way up here." I was worried it wouldn't make it in time. From there, I went down to a cluster of homes where I delivered homemade snacks ordered by a reseller. The woman who received the package, Ibu Morni, invited me for a quick cup of tea. "You must be tired riding around like this," she said kindly. Her grandchildren were playing outside, laughing and chasing chickens. It was a peaceful moment that reminded me why I love this job. As the sun began to rise higher, the streets of Bandungan started to get busier. I navigated through the traditional market, where smells of fried food, fresh vegetables, and incense blended in the air. I stopped to deliver a package of cooking tools to a young couple who had just opened a new food stall. They were excited and thanked me many times. We really need these for tomorrow's event at the village hall, the man said enthusiastically. The next few hours were filled with more stops delivering fertilizer to a vegetable farmer, stationery for a school teacher, and fabric to a tailor. Each recipient had their own story. One elderly man who received a small speaker said he ordered it to play old Javanese songs in the evening while sipping coffee. He insisted I sit with him for a moment and listen to one of his favorite tunes. At noon, I pulled over at a warring under a big banyan tree and ordered lunch rice, fried tempeh, vegetables, and sambal. The owner, Pat Cardo, asked me where I was from, and we ended up chatting about how delivery services have grown in Bandungan. In the old days, he said, we had to wait for weeks if we wanted something from the city. Now people like you bring it the next day, refreshed. I continued to the next destination, a house on a remote hillside. The road turned muddy from the rain the day before. I had to push the motorbike halfway up a slope to reach the home. There, a teenager was waiting for her new guitar. She was so happy when she opened the package. Now I can play at our school's Independence Day celebration, she said, her eyes sparkling. Around p.m., it started to drizzle. I put on my raincoat and covered the remaining packages with plastic. Despite the slippery roads and colder wind, I kept going. A package of birthday decorations was delivered just in time for a mother preparing her son's surprise party. You saved the day, she laughed as she tied balloons to the wall. My last delivery was just before sunset. It was a box of medicines and vitamins for an elderly woman living with her family near the edge of a pine forest. Her son told me that it's not easy to get to the pharmacy from there, so online delivery has been a blessing. As I handed over the package, the old woman gave me a small plastic bag of bananas from their garden. For your journey home, she said softly. As I rode back down the hill with the sky turning orange, I felt tired but deeply fulfilled. Delivering packages in Bandungan wasn't just a job, it was about being part of something meaningful. I met so many people, each with their own hopes, challenges, and stories. In many ways, I wasn't just carrying goods, I was carrying joy, relief, surprise, and connection. Delivering packages around Bandungan last Friday, I spent the entire day delivering packages around the Bandungan area. The morning air was cool and fresh, with mist still lingering over the hills and fields. I started my route from the small warehouse near the town center. My motorcycle was fully loaded with boxes of various sizes, tightly strapped on the back. The first delivery was to a small flower shop near Candi Gedong Sanggo. The road was winding and slightly uphill, but the scenery was beautiful. On both sides of the road, I could see vegetable farms, greenhouses, and local vendors setting up their stalls. When I arrived,